Welcome back, everybody, to another weekly market review for F45 trading. This week we'll be discussing November 16th to Friday, November the 20th. So we are finally well into the swing of November, which is what I was personally waiting for. We have a few weeks left here before the end of the year, approximately about 5 or 6 of them. And markets are we are still stagnating a little bit. Now, we are seeing some consolidation in the dollar and in other major Forex pairs, of course. And, you know, markets like gold and crude oil are also consolidating. But there certainly are a lot of markets out there that are running. And I'm not going to get into those tonight. If you guys ever want to look at anything in particular, any other commodity markets or anything like that, that are trending that I do have my eye on, I'd be happy to help you with that. Just reach out to me at my Twitter at F45 Trading, or on my Instagram at F45 Trading Signals, or you know, send me an email, whatever you want to do. But definitely there are markets that are moving. Now, with that being said, I think we're finally starting to get a little bit of movement happening in the dollar. Now, just look between these two lines here, this line here and this line here. Technically, we are still in the consolidation that we've been in previously. And that's the consolidation area that I'm talking about. So we are technically still in there as of today. Markets have opened up this Sunday, the 15th, and we've started out lower out of the gate. But we are still in this zone in here. And so while it's in there, you definitely have to be cautious. Are they going to finally break out of this zone and shoot lower and get below this low here and finally break down and, you know, have the same type of run what we did here and what we did here? Or are we just going to keep bouncing around in this range? I'm hoping we're going to break down. I think we are going to see lower prices in the US dollar. There was some news out today, and I'll let you do the research on that for yourself. But basically, it was just to the point that there's about 10 Asian Pacific countries that all got together and signed the world's largest free trade deal. So basically, that just means that they will be trading freely without any tariffs or taxes or anything like that between their countries in the eastern hemisphere of the globe. And there's a lot of trade and a lot of opportunity down there. And I think what that's going to do is it's going to pull capital out of the US dollar and push it more towards those East Asian markets because of the new opportunity that's just arisen. So we could see some weakness on the US dollar for the next little while, so be prepared for that. I hope it does finally happen either way. It goes down, goes up, what have you. I'd like to see the US dollar around the 90 level, so back to this consolidation level here. We've got a little ways to go yet, as you can see, but I think we could be on our way to it. So this week here, I'd like to see price break below this low here, and ultimately, if it's going to hit this low here, I think it's going to be a nice, clear, easy shot below this one. But watch out for them breaking this low here and coming right down to the almost exact pip and then reversing it. Be very careful of that. Last week, I mentioned that I wanted to see, and I'll zoom in a little bit so we can see a little bit clearer. So last week, my weekly forecast was price was trading down here. I said I wanted to see price run higher and slam back up into this level here. Didn't want to see it go back above 93.40s, 93.30, 93.40s, and then to start rolling over. Well, we had price slam down, and then it started to run back up what I wanted it to do, but I wanted it to happen, I wanted this candle to happen much earlier in the week, and as you can see, it didn't happen until Wednesday. And then price really did nothing on Thursday and did absolutely nothing on Friday. We had a couple of inside trading ranges those 2 days. So I was hoping it was going to happen earlier, but nonetheless, we're getting it now that markets are open. They may have been waiting for that Asia Pacific deal to come out to announce that before they started opening the markets up to the downside on the US dollar. So just watch for that. But as I said, we're still in this overall consolidation. Anything's possible. We could hit some news and all of a sudden they quickly run this low and then bounce it and we're all back up here next week, okay? So just be very careful of that. But I am looking for them to take out this low here, and they should be creeping up very, very close to this low as well. So we could potentially see a new low hit at 91.75 and lower this week. So keep your eye on that range. If we do see EurUsd moving, it'll be to the upside, and we're already seeing, as of Sunday, we've already broken out to the upside a bit. You know, again, very similar to the US dollar. We had price consolidate, and keep in mind we are still in this tight consolidation. Okay, so every time they've sent it up into this range here, where we're almost getting, they've shot it back down the other way. So that's why I say just be careful. But we did just take the low here, which was obviously the very same thing that US dollar did in this previous run. You can see the candle high here was at the bottom of my screen is 94.31. And this candle here came in at 94.30. You can see that there. So by 1 pip, it took the high, and then it started running south. EurUsd was a little bit more pronounced. There was a few more pips than that, but nonetheless, got that nice run up here, and away we went. So I'm expecting higher prices. I'd like to see them take out this high here from a couple weeks back, and then ultimately this high here. So we'll see if we get that this week, but that's what I would like to see. I'm going to keep this short and sweet as well, too, guys. There's not much to talk about other than that. And don't forget to, I normally would bring it up the economic news calendar, but just keep in mind there are some pretty major news events coming out on Tuesday, so be cognizant of that for the US dollar and OPEC meetings, of course, and then Aussie has an interest rate decision on Wednesday, so you don't want to be trading Aussie before Wednesday. And I'm sorry, excuse me, not interest rate, I'm sorry, unemployment rate. So you want to take it easy on Aussie, and then pretty much Thursday and Friday are fairly straightforward, some medium impact news events, but I'll let you check that out on forexfactory.com. Just be aware of what the news is ahead of time. GbpUsd, same type of idea. We had just a brief run below these two lows here on GBP, and it so far has been moving to the upside quite strongly, which is nice, a little bit stronger than what EurUsd has. I think cable could continue to go up above this high here. Last week, my call was right in here on this tiny little gap. That area there is what I was looking for. We had that last Wednesday, beautiful run up to it. Actually, last Tuesday it hit, and then Wednesday and Thursday fell off a little bit, and Friday went nowhere. But I think this week we should probably eclipse this high and probably run for this guy here. Now, if you look at Euro GBP, you'll see something similar transpiring. We had price come down, creating these lows here, this low here, a third low shot straight back up, and now we've just, as of last week, took out that low very, very briefly. But I believe we're going to see price go south on Euro GBP at least at the very least until this consolidation level here. If it does that, we should get enough run on GbpUsd to definitely get above this high and maybe flirt with this high here. So that's what I'm looking for. If we see Euro GBP continue to run lower, I would expect them to push GbpUsd higher. Okay. Aussie is, again, more of the same. We had these old lows here run out just ever so slightly a couple of weeks back. And so far, Aussie's been sitting in a bit of a range. You can see that it price consolidated in the same area for quite a long time in here. And we're doing the same thing here. So I don't have a whole lot to talk about Aussie, other than I don't necessarily want to see it start coming back down into this consolidation level in here. I'd like to see if it can prop prices up and start to get and work its way out of this range. And if that's the case, then I'd be looking for this high to get hit. UsCad is a little bit more messy. Now, I was looking at UsCad, and I had these highs in here. I was hoping that they were going to shoot above them in this run up here. We didn't get that, and we saw price really fall off quite heavily to the downside. And then had a real brief retracement after they ran this old low back down in here, and you know, a long wick on that one, and then price started to move back. So we'll see if we want to continue lower on this. If it does, we should see US dollar continue to push lower as well, and like I said, it should take UsCad with it. But I don't like this pair as much as I do some of the other ones, and I think we could see, you know, if they really want to start breaking lower, we could see, you know, lows like this guy here taken out, and maybe even this low here in the next couple of weeks. So keep your eye on UsCad. If you look at the overall price structure, we really just, this run up in here, it just was clearing all the stops above here, and I think they're probably going to look at starting to send this thing south, especially if the US dollar really starts to lose some momentum to the upside we could definitely see USCAD starting to break lower and possibly run these lows under here. That's a long time away. Don't worry about that now, but I think for now we can just assume that USCAD should drop a little bit. Watch this area here though, and keep an eye on this. If it's struggling to get through here, it may not be done running to the upside, although this pattern in here definitely does look very, very bearish. That's it for Forex. Crude oil, real quickly, we had a little pop in crude oil last week. They're claiming this is due to the fact of the new vaccine out, or that new Pfizer vaccine, saying that it was 90% effective. They're still nowhere near actually rolling it out to the public yet, but that was the news that was attributed with this pop. Call it what you will. I did mention to you guys through this run up into here, there is a possibility that they could run these highs here. And I was actually looking for it to happen about 3 weeks ago, and we just had a very, I'll zoom in a bit. We just had a very, very brief punch. Well, it really zoomed in quite a bit. That's not what I wanted. Slide this over. Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, so we had price pop up into here, which was an old level from way back that I was looking at, and then we saw price sort of consolidate and just go nowhere. And I was looking for price to come back up and challenge these lows in here a little more aggressively than what they did here. And we saw price really falling off to the downside. I still had my eye on that, and I still told you guys to make sure you had this area up in here marked. And sure enough, just out of the blue, we had, pretty much 2 weeks straight up, albeit a couple of down days here after it achieved that, and it ramped right back up into this level here. So if crude is going to go lower, which I think it will, I think crude oil is going to be around here in the next little while, because I don't see how it could be gaining any support. It's got to get through this level right here. I'll borrow this. And it's got to get through this. If we can get through this little range in price right here, then I feel like they're probably going to start to run for this low here, and then ultimately they're going to come down and hit under the 35, under the 33 level and get into the high 20s. So keep your eye on that. But they could be artificially supporting it, still on the hype of this news from the Pfizer and whatever else. But I'll let you be the judge of that one. And then finally, gold. We saw gold have a big, deep, quick sell-off about a week and a half ago. 6 days ago. A big sell-off, and price just failed to get below these lows here. Now, I personally believe that this is the target. I think they're going to smash gold down one more time. We could make a run and attempt possibly even to get above this high here. Certainly, I think it'll get back into this little consolidation level that they have here. I think we're going to see a nice run up here this week, and they're going to push this thing back up into here. That's what I believe will happen. Now, when we get to that level, that's where the interesting part happens. Do we start to push and try to get above this high here and ultimately above these highs? Or does price roll over and finally hit that target on the downside that I'm thinking, which is below this low here and this low here? I think that's what they're setting up. And if you think about it, everybody and their dog is now long gold, and we're putting all of our stops under here and under here and under here and under here and everywhere else. So I think the most logical place for them to send price one more time. Maybe price is going to go up to 3,000 on gold, like all the gold bugs have been saying and everything else. It's very possible, but I think before they do that, I think they're going to sweep this level one more time. We'll see what happens. Very quick move to the downside that really cleared a lot of stops out, so be careful with gold. If you guys are going to trade anything, trade with smaller sizes, okay? And also silver looks to be leading to the upside as well too. And silver, interestingly enough, did not see as deep of a decline as gold, which is very interesting. So keep your eye on that. Could be the leader to the upside. That's all I've got to talk about. Be careful on the markets, on S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ this week. If we see any continued sell-off in the markets and moving money around, S&P and Dow and NASDAQ will take it in the teeth. So just keep your eye on that. But so far it looks like out of the gate they're possibly going to be trying for new highs again this week. So, take all that with a grain of salt. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you appreciate, or hope you got something out of this. And if you could, please like this, share it out, and leave a comment. It really helps my my numbers on my YouTube channel. Would appreciate that. And like I say, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, go ahead and send me an email to f45trading@gmail.com. Be happy to answer any questions. Thanks for watching, folks. And for all my members, I will see you guys in the chat room Monday morning. Take care.